Hi YouTube, this is Jay Coder back with another stream here, and today we're going to be going over collections in Kotlin. And if you haven't learned about those yet, stay tuned and we'll be teaching you something new soon. Please subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, and like. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. This channel's all about becoming a better Android developer. And so I'm going to go ahead and mute this music. And so we're going to be going over this code lab, the collections in Kotlin. And so I'm going to go ahead and post this link in the chat so that the people can be able to follow along. And also, of course, post it in the description as well. Alright, so before you begin, in this code lab, you'll learn about collections, about lambdas and high order functions in Kotlin, which are all important concepts in Kotlin. Prerequisites: a basic understanding of Kotlin concepts as presented in the prior code labs, familiar with using Kotlin Playground. So we're going to be using Kotlin Playground today. So there's no need for Android Studio right now. What you'll learn is how to work with collections, including sets and maps, the basics of lambdas, and the basics of high order functions. And what you need: a computer with an internet connection to access Kotlin Playground. 2. Learn about collections. A collection is a group of related items, like a list of words or a set of employee records. Collections have the item ordered or unordered, and the items can be unique or not. You've already learned about one type of collection, lists. Lists have an order to the items, but the items don't have to be unique. As with lists, Kotlin distinguishes between mutable and immutable collections. Kotlin provides numerous functions for adding or deleting items, viewing and manipulating collections. Create list. In this task, you'll review creating a list of numbers and sort them. 1. Open the Kotlin Playground. 2. Replace any code with this. So they want to do a val numbers list of, and then they want to print it out. So let's go ahead and do that. So instead of our print statement here of the hello world, we will print this list of items, which let's go ahead and play that. And alright, so it lists the items in the order that we have set them. The list contains 10 numbers from 0 to 9. Some of the numbers appear more than once, while some don't appear at all. The order of the items in the list matters. The first item is 0, the second item is 3, and so on. The items will stay in that order unless you change them. Recall from earlier code labs that lists have many built-in functions like sorted, which returns a copy of the list sorted in ascending order. After print ln, add a line to your program to print a sorted copy of the list. So to print a sorted copy of the list, then run your program again, and this is the results. To to print a sorted list, we have to say dot sorted on our numbers list, and then let's see what it does here. So we have 2 zeros, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in ascending order. Alright, great. With the numbers sorted, it's easier to see how many times each number appears in your list, or if it doesn't appear at all. Learn about sets. Another type of collection in Kotlin is a set. It is a group of related items, but unlike a list, there can't be any duplicates, and the order doesn't matter. And an item can be in the set An item can be in the set or not, but if it's in the set, there's only one copy of it. This is similar to the mathematical concept of a set. For example, there is a set of books that you've read. Reading a book multiple times doesn't change the fact it is in the set of books that you've read. Add these lines to your program to convert the list to set. So val set of numbers equals numbers to set, and then run your program. So it looks like we can convert the list into a set. So we're going to say set so okay, so we can say set of numbers equals numbers dot to set and print ln set. And let's see what happens. So for the set, it gets rid of duplicates. So there cannot be two zeros and there cannot be two fives. There can be one and only one for it to be considered a set. The result has all the numbers in the original list, but each only appears once. Note that there are in the same order as in the original list, but that order isn't significant for a set. Define a mutable set and an immutable set, and initialize them with the same set of numbers, but in different orders by adding these lines. So, okay. Add a line to print whether they are equal. Let's see. So set one, mutable set, and a set of so we're going to check if set 1 and 2 is equal. So they are considered equal since they have the same numbers listed in the set, despite the order. Even though one is mutable and one isn't, they have the items in a different order. They've considered equal because they contain exactly the same set of items. One of the main operations you might perform on the set is checking if a particular item in the set is in the set or not with the contains function. You've seen contains before, but used it on the list. Add this line to your program to print if 7 is in the set. So also remember, mutable means it can be changed, and set of that is going to be read only. So just a reminder, mutable means changeable. Alright, and so we're going to see if set of numbers, which is our older one up here, contains 7. So false. It does not contain 7. So run your program and look at the additional results. False. You can try testing it with the value that is in the set too. All of the code you can try testing with the value that is in the set too. All of the code above. Okay, so like for instance, we know an 8 is in the set, so will it be true? Wait a minute. Why does it say? Oh, that's just the label part. I had to change it actually here. So, yep, it is true. It indeed has an 8. As with mathematical sets in college, you can perform operations like the intersection or the union of two sets using intersect or union. Learn about maps. The last time The last type of collection you'll learn about in this collab is a map or dictionary. A map is a set of key value pairs designed to make it easy to look up a value given a particular key. Keys are unique, and each key maps to exactly one value, but the value can be duplicates. Value in a map can be string, numbers, or objects. Even another collection like a list or set. A map is a map is useful when you have pairs of data and you can identify each pair based on its key. The key maps to the corresponding value. In the Kotlin Playground, replace all the code with this code that creates a mutable map to store people's name and their age. This creates a mutable map of string key to int. So, in order to make a mutable map, let us have this code. And then says val people ages immutable map of string and then Fred to 30 and to 23. So this is people's ages. Let me go ahead and test this out actually. Okay, so the key is Fred and the value is 30 and the key is in and the value is 23. This creates a this create this creates a mutable map of string key to an int value. Initializes the map with 2 entries and prints the items. Run your program and it looks run your program and look at the results. Alright, so that's our results. To add more entries to the map, you can use the put function, passing in the key and the value. So to add more to our mutable map, we can do people's ages.put. Remember, if we don't use mutable, we cannot add any more values to our map. because it will be read only. So people's dot ages dot put Barbara 42, and then and let us print this after Barbara to see if Barbara has indeed been added to our map. Alright, Barbara has indeed been added to our map. You can also use a shorthand notation to add entries. So instead of using put, you can go ahead and just say this. You can use the brackets to add someone else. So to say, let's assign the key of Joe to 51. If there is not a key of Joe, then let's make a new key of Joe and assign it to 51. And now let's go ahead and play this. So, alright, Fred and Barbara and Joe. Here's all the code above. So, we have all the correct people. As noted above, the key names are unique, but the value ages can have duplicates. What do you think happens if you try to add an item using one of the same keys? Before the print statement, add this line and so if it's going to check if Fred already exists. If Fred already exists, then we'll update his name to 31. So Fred already exists, so we will indeed update his name to 31. The key Fred doesn't get added again, but the value it maps to is updated to 31. As you can see, maps are useful as a quick way to map keys to values in your code. Working with collections. Although they have different qualities, different types of collections have a lot of behavior in common. If they are mutable, you can add or remove items. You can enumerate all the items, find a particular item, or sometimes convert one type of collection to another. You did this earlier where you converted a list to set. With toSet, here are some helpful functions for working with collections. For each, suppose you want to print the items in people age and include the person's name and age. For example, Fred is 31, Anne is 23, and so on. You learned about for loops in the earlier collabs, so you could write a loop with four people and people ages. However, enumerating all the objects in a collection is a common operation, so Kotlin provides for each, which goes through all the items for you and performs an operation on each one. In this playground, add this code after the print line. So we add this code after the print line. People's ages for each, print the key and print the value. So it's gonna say Fred is 31, Anne is 23, Barbara's is 42. Joe is 51. It's similar to the for loop, but a little more compact. Instead of you specifying a variable for the current item, the for each uses the special identifier it. Note that you didn't need to add parentheses when you called the for each method. Just pass the code in curly braces. Run your program and look at the additional results. Fred is 31, Ann is 23, Barbara's 42, Joe's 51. That's very close to what you want, but there's an extra column on the end, comma on the end. Converting a collection into a string is a common operation, and that extra separator at the end is a common problem, too. You'll learn how to deal with that in the steps ahead. Map. The map function, which shouldn't be confused with a map or dictionary collection above, applies a transformation to each item in a collection. In your program, replace the for each statement with this line, and then run your program and look at the additional results. So instead of running the for each with the comma at the end of each thing, we will run this map. We will run this map code. So we have the print ln people ages dot map, and then we're going to print a key, print a value. We're using it inside this map scope, which is a common thing inside Kotlin. You'll see it a lot in Kotlin. And then after that, dot join to string, and that's a comma. And then when we play it this time, we do not get the comma at the end. It has the correct output, no extra comma. There's a lot going on in one line, so take a closer look at it. People ages.map applies a transformation to each item in people ages and creates a new collection of the transformed items. The part in the curly braces defines the transformation to apply to each item. The transformation takes a key value pair and transforms it into a string. Example, Fred 31 turns into Fred is 31. Join to string adds each item in a transform collection to a string separated by a comma, and it knows not to add it to the last item. And all this is chained together with a dot operator like you've done with function calls and property accesses in earlier code labs. So chain together with the dot. Another common operation with collections is to find items that match a particular condition. The filter function returns the items in a collection that match based on an expression. After the print line add these lines. Val filter names equal people ages dot filter, and that's in the brackets. It dot key dot length is less than 4, and then print ln filtered names. Again, note that the call to filter doesn't need parentheses, and it refers to the current item in the list. Run your program and look at the additional results. And 23 Joe 51. In this case, the expression gets the length of the key, a string, and checks if it is less than 4. Any items that match, that is, have a name with fewer than 4 characters, are added to the new collection. The type returned when you applied the filter to a map is a new map, linked hash map. You could do additional processing on the app or convert to another type of collection like a list. Turn Number 4, learn about lambdas and high order functions. Lambdas. Let's revisit this earlier example. People's ages for each. There's a variable in people's ages with a function for each being called on it. Instead of parentheses following the function name with the parameters, you see some code and clearly curly braces following the function name. The same pattern appears in the code that uses map and filter functions from the previous step. The for each function gets called in the people age variable and uses the code in the curly brackets. It's like you wrote a small function in the curly braces, but there's no function's name. The idea of function with no name that can immediately be used as an expression is a really useful concept called a lambda expression, or just lambda for short. This leads to an important topic of how you can interact with functions in a powerful way with Kotlin. You store functions in variables and classes, pass functions or arguments, and even return functions. You can treat them like the values of others like int or string. Function types. To enable this type of behavior, Kotlin has something called function types, where you can define a specific type of function based on its input parameters and return value. It appears in the following format. Example, function type. And then you have the int in parentheses pointing to int. A function with the above function type must take a parameter of type int and return a value of type int. In function type notation, the parameters are listed in parentheses, separated by columns if there are multiple parameters. Then there is a arrow which is followed by the return type. What type of function would meet this criteria? You could have a lambda expression that triples the value of an integer input as seen below. For the syntax of a lambda expression, the former come first, following by the function arrow, and followed by the function body highlighted in the purple box. The last expression in the lambda is the return. Okay, so you could even store a lambda into a variable as shown below in the below diagram. The syntax is similar to how you declare a variable of a basic data type like int. Observe the variable name yellow box, variable type blue box, and all right. And so you could even store a lambda into a variable as shown in the below diagram. The syntax is similar to how you declare a variable of a basic data type like an int. Observe the variable name yellow box, variable type blue box, variable value green box. The triple variable stores a function. Its type is a function type of int arrow int, and the value is a lambda expression. So try this code in the playground and call the triple function by passing it a number like 5. Okay. Oh. Alright, so it's going to multiply the 5 by 3, which is 15. The resulting should be 15. Note, it's common to have a lambda that has a single parameter, so Kotlin offers a shorthand. Kotlin implicitly uses the special identifier it for the parameter of the lambda with a single parameter. Within the curly braces, you can omit explicitly declaring the parameter a int. Omit the function arrow and just have the function body. Update the triple function declared in your main function and run this code. So you can basically run this code instead. And so, all right. Okay, so, oh yeah, we gotta also print it out as well. All right. And so, actually, that's gonna be all for today. I'm gonna finish up uh, this lesson tomorrow. So make sure to stay tuned tomorrow and go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you will not miss when I come out with this new video. And all right, as always, guys, thank you for watching, and always remember to stay coding. All right, peace.